So for those of you who don't know, there's a new Matrix movie coming out. Surprise! It's
Oh,
actually out. Is it next week?
dodge
This
this.
week?
No, it's out on the 22nd.
Okay,
This
so it's
coming
much
this
much
coming
closer
week is
to
Spider-Man's.
Spider-Man. That's it. But yeah, in a very interesting partnership, I guess. Unreal and the Matrix people got together and said, let's make an interactive experience for current, well, not next gen anymore, current gen consoles. And yeah, it's for all intents and purposes just a showcase of what Unreal Engine 5 is. And let me tell you, it is quite something. So you haven't actually played the demo yourself, but you've
I
watched
haven't, yeah. I've watched snippets here and
some
there, yeah.
snippets.
So
And
it is a free demo, firstly.
yeah,
It's called the Matrix Awakens, I think.
yeah.
And you can get it on PS5 and Xbox Series X and S. So
Yeah, not on PC, weirdly enough.
mm,
Not quite sure why, because it's made
I
by
reckon it's a
Epic, and
security thing. They don't want people
you
cracking
think,
this thing
oh, they
open.
want them to, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's if you're watching the video feed, you'll obviously see what's going on. But for those of you who can't watch, it's really just it starts off, it's a combination of what seems to be, it looks like actual footage from the Matrix, but if upon close inspection you realize, like, oh no, this is all rendered. And it's
That's
kind of weird.
crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because Keanu Reeves is busy speaking about, like, how do you tell, between what's real and what's fake, and it kind of intersperses between new footage and footage from the original Matrix movies, and you look at it, you go, oh, that's from the original Matrix, except it's been re-rendered in Unreal Engine 5. So it makes it very difficult to, it straddles that line of what is real and what is fake. And like I was saying to Alessandro before we started recording, it's if you look closely, we're not there. Like we're 99% there. It looks real, but you can just see that it's generated. Like, look at this. Is this from the movie?
This is the
or...
thing. I've been both, like, twice now. I've been looked at it and been like so the opening scene when Neo is sleeping on his computer. Maybe it's because I rewatched that movie literally this week. Like I could tell like something wasn't right there. But I'm looking at this now and I'm like, I can sort of tell that it's generated.
But look, now
there it's real.
That's Keanu Reeves, but is it? Because look, it just goes through the mirror. Oh wait, no, it cuts there. Okay, but you see what I mean? It's very clever. It's this you can see is generated, but it's still
this
done
you can definitely see
so well. It's like, wow.
I mean, we are getting towards that uncanny valley,
exactly. Yeah.
Thing. And I think what's important here to note is that this is all real time.
Exactly.
It's not pre-rendered, and that's what makes it most impressive. Because pre-rendered, you can get pretty fucking close to real nowadays. But the fact that this demo is, you can actually walk around and play and influence it in real time, that's the impressive part.
Yeah, so this beginning bit is really just, it's some fun banter. I'm just going to skip ahead for video viewers. This is where you, the player, arrive. There's just some... it's actually funny. They kind of lean into the silly side of this of, like, maybe for all intents and purposes, other promotional footage would be like, this is a preview of the movie, whatever. But they basically say, like, no, we know this is a game. You're just here to see.
To mess
play.
around. And,
yeah.
I'm looking at that Neo, and what it reminds me of is in the Matrix Reloaded, he has that fight in the park with all the agents.
Yes.
And the CGI, if you look back at it now, is like kind of bad. They all look plasticky. He looks better than that plasticky.
It's just, we've come such a long way. I mean,
goodness, look at this.
In the the opening, he does say, like, they imagined what things would be like in the future, and it's weird how we're there. Like, it's difficult to tell between what's real and what's fake. And if you're watching the video now, this is actual gameplay. And sorry, that's audio listeners, you just have to imagine it is visually
it's unbelievable. How much detail is in this.
Holy hell! And I'm playing on a PS5, and like PS5 is a current / next gen console, but to have this running on a console as a tech demo, it makes me wonder, holy shit, this is the baseline. What's going to happen when, developers have this toolkit to do whatever the hell they want with? Like, what sort of games are we going to see? I think
exactly that. It's impressive that it's running on a console. This isn't like you need a beefy PC to even run this thing. This is on a PS5, on an Xbox Series X, and in the future, give it 2-3 years, they optimize the engine more and more and more. I mean, I know friend of the podcast, Darren, is busy playing Batman Arkham Knight again because he's addicted.
I thought you said he's a dick.
Well, he is that too. But
Shit.
That game came out quite well, like in the middle of the last gen.
Yeah.
And that wasn't even using Unreal 4. That was just 3. So that just shows you how far a current engine can be pushed beyond its initial means. So if this is like you said, this is the bar, like, my God. It's insane.
And it's funny because I was going to say it's Unreal. And in the trailer, in the gameplay itself, they do say, like, it's Unreal.
Like, God. It's very much an ad. I mean, look at the scene. Look at how much is going on.
I know, and it's there's no FPS drop. I mean, it's
unbelievable.
It's crazy.
I mean, to me, what's most impressive is the character models are where you can really tell it's in game, but the city is what
alive and real. It's
the buildings and the detail of. When you're zipping by, I thought Spider-Man got that pretty spot on, but this is on another level.
Yeah, I mean, just the level of destruction that's going on here, and it's yeah. But even the physics, like how the cars roll. I mean, that car just rolled into another one, and it sounds funny to say, but almost organically it folded into that car.
And this isn't just like obviously, they're able to push boundaries with this because even though it is gameplay, it's very limited.
It's like an on rails experience.
On rails, yeah. So they can always expect what's going to happen as opposed to like something that's far more dynamic. So that definitely makes a difference.
Yeah.
But I mean, Digital Foundry wrote a really good piece on this, and even then they said even with those concessions, just what is available here is on it's on another level to what we expect. It's really something else.
I mean, there's a nice little quick time event there. We've got some nice explosions happening. But before we bounce off, I'll just show a bit of the tech demo has this cinematic, but then it lets you, the player, just walk around the city. You can walk, you can fly through it, everything. So that's kind of
cool.
So that's just
more dynamic.
Yeah. So how cool is that though? Like splash screen, Unreal Engine 5.
That's so cool.
And then you can this is me flying around now, just doing my thing. And look at that. It's crazy. The level of detail here is
impressive. Yeah. Because this is now, it has no idea where you're going to go to next. So it needs to render correctly in real time. Like, oh my God, that is, I mean, imagine a game like Watch Dogs looking like this. You know what I mean? Like, you can just get in a car and drive?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. Okay, I need to give this a go.
Look at the lighting and stuff. I mean,
that speedometer is terrible. That is real 1999 bullshit. Holy shit.
The UI is not great, let's be honest. But everything else about this, even like the reflections, everything.
Those look really good. I can't tell just from this if it's ray tracing or not. Because you'd need to like slow down and see what is screen space and what isn't. But the lighting model is just unbelievable.
I'm like, fuck really this car in particular.
Yeah, clearly you don't know how to drive. Jesus.
Yeah. That's all
Very
I can say is just wow.
Very cool.
Wow.
So if you've got a PS5 or an Xbox Series X, give this a download. It's free. It's 20 gigs. My goodness.
It's 26 gigs for like, a 20-minute experience.
What is this UI for the camera mode? I hate this.
Remember, this is based on a movie that came out in the 90s. So
I hate this. It's so bad.
Yeah, but I'll just spend some time walking around and then just flying around as well.
Oh my God, look
it's
at
crazy.
That.
Yeah, go play it. You need to play it.
That's really cool. That's very cool. This makes me giddy for, games coming out in the next 2-3 years that are only going to be on next gen consoles. Like, yeah. I did, I messaged another pal of the show, Neelan, who works over at Naughty Dog, and I said, not to put any pressure, but the first comment I saw on YouTube was like, imagine what Naughty Dog's game is going to look like if this looks this good. And I was like, oh my God, good luck. This is the bar now, what people expect. Sure.
What engine is Uncharted built on as a matter of interest?
Oh, it's an in-house.
It's an in-house thing,
engine. Yeah. I'm keen for the next Gears. If that is Unreal Engine, Gears always runs on Unreal, so...
Yep. Get ready.
Next BioShock will be on Unreal. Usually they're on Unreal.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
funny because I think every generation we go like, wow, it's so realistic. And you look back at PS2 and PS3 and you go, yeah, it's not, it doesn't look that great. Maybe not so much PS3, but PS2 and especially PS1, you're like, wow, that's
But I think this is what was needed, because like, you know, this gen, it's now a year old. And I've seen some good looking games, but nothing that says, wow, this is the jump.
Yeah.
This is the first time
Where you're
I've
looking
seen
at it
this
and
jump.
going, this feels next gen. So yeah. It's a good time. Keen to see what happens. And you said before we started recording, what a flex from Epic. But you know, because like you mentioned, the studios or companies like this usually put out a tech demo and it's just a video and you go, wow, how real is this? It's cool, but it's pre-rendered, all of that stuff. This is, hey, here's a little playground. You can go walk around in it and do your thing and you can see.
And it's not even like, oh, it's not a video where it's like, oh, this is us being dynamic. It's like, here it is for everyone. You can try and break this thing as much as you want.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's the biggest flex I've seen from them ever. It's really like, this is what games are going to be in the future. So yeah, very, very cool.